you
Good
know, suddenly
evening,
it matters a lot,
everyone.
right?
John, and of course we have Danny, and we're here to talk about writing. We have a couple of Stage 32 scripts tonight that I'll present for you guys that people are looking forward to feedback. Um,
And so
and
what's Stage 32 again?
it's a website for
Oh, these are the
uh,
screenwriters.
these are the screenwriters.
Oh,
Yes,
I'm
it's a
excited.
website dedicated to the movie business. There is my all right. Look, let me go ahead
Kind of
and
like a Facebook for film people.
yes, somewhat like a Facebook for film
But
people.
not Show Busy, which is LinkedIn for film crew, which I just got a link to like the other week.
Right. I've
There's
not
so
even
many
heard of that.
new
Okay.
Facebooks now.
Yes.
I'm not a
Yeah.
huge fan of the other Facebook.
I'm not either.
I mean, I do. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. My friends are on it, and that's what it's good for. But like,
Right.
it's so many more social media platforms. It's just so much work.
Yes. I concur. And there's all these little data silos.
Yep.
But yeah, we were discussing passive voice, and I got into this discussion.
Existence.
Yes, with Quailer. And here I wanted to show these two pages because we have some stuff here from in fact, here, let me pull up the colors. So where is all right, so here's the page. Boom, and I'm going to share my oh wait, I know whenever I share my screen with you guys, I can't unshare. Here, we're going to try it anyway. Share screen.
So while you're doing that, I backed a Kickstarter last week, and I know they had a very interesting, and I had never thought of this, and we're all talking about scripts and all.
Yes.
And one of the things that they're offering as part of their digital deluxe tier,
yes,
is if you get the Kickstarter with all the variant covers, and you also get a copy of the script.
Hooray! Sure, why? Yay! It costs them nothing, right?
Right. I mean, okay,
yeah,
sure.
It costs them nothing.
But the thought pattern was, well, now people are going to actually read your script.
Oh, good point. Yeah, you actually got to
because
work
everybody
on
in this conversation
being a bit
is
of a
all talking about,
wordsmith.
oh, nobody's going to ever see the script.
Yeah,
it's like, well,
that's a
don't
lie.
know that.
5 people max are going to see your script.
I don't know. I might read this guy's script.
I mean, I've certainly learned something from reading other people's scripts. So it's not valueless. But comics are such a weird format, right? I mean, there's a very old book of comic scripts, like mid 80s or something like that. And it's got, like something from Gru that's just like sketch art. And it's also got like some pages from an Alan Moore script in the same book. And like, that's a very different format, obviously. The Alan Moore script being like, have you seen the Alan Moore scripts, John?
I saw. Oh no, not Alan Moore.
Like, he knows every book that's on that bookshelf, and it's written down just in case the illustrator wants to know that. Like, there is so much art direction, and a lot of it's like important in the sense of like someone needs to know this stuff for world building, even if it doesn't show up in the art. But like, I've seen broken down versions of the Alan Moore scripts as well. They're just like highlighted notes and like everything.
I've read screenplays that are like that. I used to read a lot of screenplays.
First off, I'm going to say, here's the thing: you hang out with writers, and they bemoan their lack of status. As Dan O'Bannon put it, and my favorite guide to screenwriting, he's like, producers approach screenwriting as though it can't be all that hard if a screenwriter could do it, But then when I'm talking with people,
like, producing's hard.
Yeah, but then when I'm talking with people, who are writers, and I go, hey, here's a way you could improve their writing. A lot of times they come back at me with, writing's not that important, which I find a defeatist attitude, quite frankly. I don't know. Anyway,
I mean, if it's just dialogue and action, if you're trying to tell like a story that means something,
right.
I think different people write for different things, and it all counts as the same thing. Which, writing is important, of course, because like even if you don't notice the bad, and like noticeably bad writing is pretty rare.
Yeah.
Once you get past a certain level, but man, bad writing, like, oh, am I randomly bored through that? Yep, bad writing. Like, Do I have no idea what's going on? Yep, bad writing. Like, it shows up more than people think.
Yes. All right, so here I'm going to share a screen. I know this is pretty dangerous. Hopefully it won't kick me out when I close the tab. But all right, here we have some colors for Palace. So John, I know you're pretty excited for Palace issue 4.
I'm excited to start selling.
Yeah, you're excited for the trade paperback.
So that when people get bored of Guinevere, that I have something to continue to sell people.
There you go. Well, it's been a crowd pleaser. Like, people at cons really like it. So all right, I was going over these pages with Kyler, and all right. So the script, page 23, panel 1. Edmund uses the flat of his blade to sweep her feet out from under her. Edmund's dialogue, suit yourself. So that's panel 1. And then
I mean, it doesn't look like he's using the flat of his blade, but
I mean, doesn't it?
We all liked the composition and decided not to go for a close-up there.
I mean, that seems like I mean, like, look, if he would have been shot, I feel like the blade would have been at a 90-degree angle to where it is now. That seems like the flat of the blade to me. I'm going to give him credit for the flat of the blade.
It's what you could with the as Danny said.
Size is about the best
based on the composition, yes, that would be the best you could do in that circumstance.
Yeah. All right, panel 2, and this is where we get into a discussion. Thora falls to the ground and says no. And then, I didn't actually call for Edmund to be in the shot, but there's Edmund in the shot, and there's Thor lying on the ground with hair of snakes and sword and boobs and all kinds of whatever. Anyway, we got into
very muscular thighs.
Yeah, she's got some wonderfully muscular thighs. So, we got into a discussion here because I said, okay, Thor falls to the ground and says no. And I think if I would have written the script passively, Thor is falling to the ground, I actually would have gotten a different result here.
You hundo P would have.
Right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Like, this is again where I'm just saying, like, it changes the art that you get when you change from active to passive. Because here, I think, the idea was communicated from panel 1 to panel 2. Boom, sweeps her out from under her feet, falls to the ground, says no. And so the artist, kind of in understanding the thing, has more freedom to set it up. But if panel 2 said Thor is falling, then I would have had, I
mean, you could say she is falling in the first panel.
Yes, exactly.
Because is falling is what you would have in the first panel if that's what you said in the second panel.
Right.
The other thing I'll say is, we could have directed this to have more of like an impact effect.
Right.
He has fallen to the ground by the time panel 2 happens.
Yes.
This is not the fall moment. This is
yes. The line was Thor falls to the ground, which doesn't necessarily mean, and the artist interpreted it correctly, it doesn't necessarily mean I need the moment of her falling as much as she has fallen and says no. And that is the state of things.
That's a point of interpretation.
Yeah.
Right. And actually that's all fine because this action scene needed a bit of a breather. And by the time we actually got into colors, this is the stuff that I did with Blonde the other day, Preston.
Yes.
Like, we color coded the battle scene, so it was really clear when there was an action beat happening.
Yeah.
And who's winning during that. So this was a necessary breather.
There you go. And then Edmund stomps his boot right onto Thor's face, sic semper rebellis, and then panel 4, Thor's perfect ass. Thor's governor's armor clings to her perfect ass, which graces Edmund's shoulders as he carries her unconscious body back to his horse. The queen will reward me for returning you alive. Boom. I don't know. I like it. What do you think, John?
She has a very nice ass.
It's really great. It's her superpower. All right. So I closed that and I'm still here. Okay, good. Look at that.
You figured out the technology you'd be using.
I guess, or maybe it used to work all the time and then it stopped, and I don't know.
That's why I was so confused when it stopped working spontaneously. What was that, last week, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Because you've been using this technology very successfully for years, and suddenly, ...
All right, so this time I'm going to do different. This one's going to be a window. All right, so here we go. This is submitted. This is a screenplay by a screenwriter, Ben Hinning. I know nothing of the story except its title, One Traveler. Shall I narrate?
I'll read for you.
Go for it.
If you want. Interior apartment bedroom, morning. An alarm rings as Clark Miller, male, late 20s, sits up in his bed, feet on the floor. He's well built and muscular with a light scruff and an air of confidence. He rests for a beat before going to the shower. Interior apartment kitchen, morning. Freshly showered and dressed, Clark steps out of the bedroom and turns onto the kitchen lights. Through large windows, we can see twilight just breaking through the sky. Clark is energetic as he begins pulling and preparing ingredients for an omelet. Oh, this sounds like my opening.
Yes, prepares a big breakfast.
Ingredients for an omelet, toast, coffee, and smoothie. He's in the middle of cooking when there's a knock on the door. He quickly runs to unlock. Nope, that's your mouse. He quickly runs to unlock and opens the door before returning to attend to his omelet. His girlfriend, Karina, female, late 20s, greets him from the entrance as she follows behind.
Good morning, hon. I picked up that coffee sweetener you asked for. How are you?
Karina emerges from the entrance area and joins Clark in the kitchen preparing ingredients. They immediately integrate into a smooth dynamic around each other in the kitchen that has already been established.
I'm doing well. I think I prepared about as well as I could this past week, so I'm ready as I can be for today.
The two continue shuffling around each other, moving between the stove, fridge, and cabinets with ease, preparing their own breakfasts. Occasionally, as Karina cooks, she manipulates water with magic, maybe pulling it through the air or stirring it without a utensil. Neither of them make notice of it. Okay, so this is real magic then. Okay.
Yes.
I thought it was hyperbole at first, which kind of confused me because...
Well, now we know.
Yeah.
Agreed. You'll be fantastic. You aced the exam and you have nothing to worry about.
I didn't ace it, nope. And I'm not sure. There's a vibe I get from the department. I've been able to deal with it as a normal police officer, and I'm not making major decisions. Bye.
What kind of vibe?
Like, they like things to be easy, simple, and that's not how cases are.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
It's not everyone. Sorry, there are definitely good people. Oh my God, what is happening in my life?
Oh, there we go.
We do things by the book, but...
Really? The other agents cut corners?
That's one way of putting it.
Clark sighs and begins gathering together his mostly completed breakfast and drinks.
Is it bad?
No. I don't think so. It's not exactly like I can ask someone how close they follow the rules or if they're willing to
do a good job. Needs a question mark.
Exactly.
Yeah. People's lives are at stake, aren't they?
Beat.
They are. So I hope to make a difference. I just don't know what the cost will be.
Clark flips on the TV, which is on the news. He and Karina sit together at the small dining table and take a moment to quietly settle and begin their food. The news anchor is covering a new product release on the market. The bottom banner features a scrolling text which summarizes the story. The Institute for Meta Energy Research and Development unveil and release a rechargeable wand capable of performing a single magical action. Wands are charged with magic by qualified magicians at the institutes and need to be recharged at an IMRED location for further use. This week, a new product has been unveiled and revealed from IMRED, which the institutes are calling a rechargeable wand. Here's the story from the head of development, Chilam Laloma. Chilam, female, 50s, profile fills the screen, speaking from a press release at IMRED.
When I accepted the position as head of development for IMRED just over 20 years ago, I swore to give all of my exposition in a monotone.
Yeah.
I swore to make magic more common and available to people everywhere, whether they're biologically magicians or not. After a long road of research and development, I could not be more proud to present the rechargeable wand, a device that makes magic available to everyone.
So good.
Well, she's Indian, so you could do it with an Indian accent.
I cannot do an Indian accent. Okay. That is not acceptable.
Exactly. Danny gets canceled.
Like, it would be so... Like, I don't even know if I could do it. It would be real bad if I could.
Yeah.
I could not be more proud to present a rechargeable wand.
There we go.
A roar of applause. Chilam leaves the podium, and the anchor's profile returns. But IMRED's new technology isn't seen as good news by everyone. A group of self-proclaimed magical purists have gathered to protest at several institutes around the country, stating that magic should be restricted from those not biologically able. Short pieces of footage from across different locations, different states show protesters gathered around IMRED's locations, chanting unintelligibly but holding signs with various messages about magical purity or stating that people who aren't magicians shouldn't perform magic. Nice coding. It's always nice when you do it more like that. Clark hits the mute button.
And that's enough of that. Say, you're a magician. Could you recharge those wand things?
Nah, that takes a lot of power and the ability to produce pure magic, which takes a lot of skill. I'm 4th generation, if I remember correctly, which means my magic has been diluted by 3 previous generations. I can't do much besides my water tricks.
I like your water tricks.
Karina kisses him on the cheek.
You're cute.
The two finish their breakfast. Cut to Interior Station Day. Clark enters the station walking confidently through the crowd of officers, agents, and various other co-workers already on shift. A handful greet him and wish him luck. He walks into an enclosed office area labeled Captain Edwards. Edwards is in his 50s, gray but well-built, confident and stern, with a decorated uniform. Also standing in the office is Rory Taylor, who has a more boyish and softer demeanor and is a little pudgy.
All right, I'm going to give some writing constructives here on the composition of this sentence or paragraph, because I don't want to lose it. First up, you don't need a cut to. That's implied when we have a new slug. And this should absolutely not be all one big block of text. One, it's kind of ugly. But two, if we look at what's going on, Clark's entering the building, and then we got stuff, and now we have a handful greet him and wish him luck. So, I mean, those are going to be like 2 separate shots usually, right? Like you'd have
Yeah, I've made a movie before. Yeah.
Like, typically those are 2 separate shots. Then he walks into a closed office, labels Captain Edwards, and there
should be a slug interior Captain
Edwards
office.
So this needs to be broken up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and don't hide your scene changes in the middle of an action line,
right?
Because if I'm assuming if this is going to get produced, it's going to be at the indie budget level and not professional budget level. If someone's not paying attention, they're going to not have that location there.
Yeah,
they're going to have to spend an entire other day going back for reshoots because you forgot to add a slug for your captain's office location.
Yes.
I have literally done this in pre-production, is point that out.
Or they've forgotten to even book the location, period. And now your location person has to be like, holy crap, we need to go and find a location we hadn't planned for because...
It matches the footage we already have because now we can't use that office again. It's a whole mess. Just tag your slugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're using screenplay software because you can actually run reports and it will actually give you a list of your locations based on your slugs. So that's one of the benefits of using screenplay software. So let the software do its job for you.
Yeah. Also standing in the office is Rory Taylor, male 20s, who has a more boyish and softer demeanor and is a little pudgy.
Yes, I read all that. We're waiting
for
Clark to say his
I'm
line.
sorry. Yeah. You're right.
I know. He keeps taking over the narration.
Yeah, I'm sorry. All right. Am I Clark?
No.
I'm Captain Edwards. Good morning, Detective Miller, and congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I've been looking forward to today.
And you should. It's well earned.
Edwards picks up a badge from his desk and hands it to Clark.
I appreciate you saying so, sir.
Clark exchanges the badge already on his uniform for the one Edwards hands to him. Wait, if he's in a uniform, don't they usually have stripes? Usually when you get a promotion, you get a new badge, you get a new uniform. Doesn't have to be in
America.
I mean, typically, yeah.
It's not necessarily set in America.
Yeah, but their rank could be on the badge, right? There could be like.
Oh yeah, I suppose so.
Cops do it that way. Like, you know, if you're a police officer and you get lieutenant, I think you get like a new badge. It says like lieutenant or.
Oh, I'm thinking of uniformed officers because uniformed officers, they have stripes on their arm, and they would get extra stripes when they get promoted.
Chevrons
if he's not uniform, so that's what threw me because it says uniform. He's not in a suit. If he's wearing if he's a suit, then there would be no uniform change. But because it says uniform, I'm thinking police uniform, which means he would have stripes or an emblem on his shoulder. So that would mean new position would require a new uniform, new stripes.
Well, this is his first day as a detective, and for some reason he's still wearing a uniform. So if this were set in America, I think that's not the tradition around here or around there.
If he's detective, he's in a suit. And if he knew he was becoming a detective this day, he would have went to the office in a suit.
So that's how that happens in America. Make sure whatever you write is appropriate to your location.
There we go. All right, where are we? Exchange his badge, or did we do that already?
Yes, I think we just did a change the badge.
Okay.
Because that's what started the whole uniform conversation.
Yes.
And now we're getting pop-ups.
Yes, I know.
That's because Preston started pushing buttons like
I did. I was trying to zoom in, but here now I can delete.
Hit control and slide the scroll wheel.
Awesome. All right, I'll do that next.
So has Captain Edwards given his line at the top there?
And this is Detective Taylor. He'll be your new partner going forward. You met before?
In passing. Nice to meet you again, Taylor.
Clark offers his hand.
You can call me Rory.
Rory shakes Clark's hand.
Rory, then.
Unfortunately, there's not too much time in celebrations today. We've already got a potential murder on our hands. Body was discovered about an hour ago. Forensics is already on the scene and waiting for you.
Clark and Rory nod at each other and turn to leave the office. Cut 2. Exterior, small side street day. In a small side street of the town, forensics have portioned off the crime scene. There aren't many passers-by when Clark and Rory arrive. A forensics expert meets them at the scene, guiding them to the body.
There's probably a lot of dialogue for forensics. And
I'll do it. Okay. The body is male, 30s, discovered and called in by someone on their morning commute. Cause of death appears to be blunt force trauma, as if they fell to their death. But the forensics person gestures upward, and the three of them pause, observing the area around him. There are no very tall buildings or structures.
Maybe he fell from a semi-truck or other large vehicle.
I can't see even a commercial truck being tall enough to cause this, and it's doubtful these types would travel these streets. Clark thanks the expert and begins examining around the scene.
Where could you have fallen from?
Clark surveys the buildings around them and then examines the streets between. He spots something peculiar on the ground some distance away. He nudges Rory.
Hey, let's check that out.
Rory nods, and they approach the object, leaving the crime scene. Clark recognizes it from the news story that morning.
But Rory has a line.
A rechargeable wand. I think you found our culprit, Clark.
Not the culprit, the murder weapon.
Could be, yeah.
I don't know if there's a way to be sure.
Rory slips on fingerprint gloves and picks up the device to examine it.
It looks like it's been used. The magic seems empty, or else it would respond to touch, even from me. We have to bring it into IMRED to ask what action it had programmed and confirm it caused this type of death.
Oh, it's the iPhone story. Okay.
There we go.
Well, if the wand is levitation, then obviously they picked them up.
I mean, what I was thinking when they were going, it had to fall from a thing. I'm like, you just said magic exists. Yeah. Like you just said magic exists. So like, wouldn't like a spell be the first idea? But anyway.
Yeah, no. What I meant is they got to crack the DRM, or like the rights management software for the.
Oh, right. Yeah. No. I mean, it has some interesting concepts that could definitely be developed here. Rory offers the wand to Clark, who accepts it, slipping on his own fingerprint gloves. He takes the wand and Rory turns, looking back toward the body. The effect on Clark is almost immediate. The wand shakes in his hand and Clark stumbles, not expecting it to feel alive. He grasps it more firmly, not wanting to drop evidence.
Clark, do you?
Rory stops, struggling, staring at Clark. The wand glows with LED life, and Clark struggles to grasp it. It points in the direction of a large city trash dispenser. Oh, now we're going to get our answer. Which shakes mightily before making a metallic heaving sound, and then its bulk lifts powerfully off the pavement. Both men stare in complete awe as the dispenser slowly rises to eye level and then clear above their heads.
Put it down!
Clark begins to panic, grasping the wands with both hands.
I don't know how.
Try pointing the wand at the ground. The trash might follow.
Clark pauses, focusing.
No, that's not it.
And then he releases it, and it falls in the body, and they ruin their evidence. Clark regains his composure, grasping the wand with purpose, and then focusing his thoughts.
We're not killing Rory? Oh, why aren't we killing Rory? Man, that would have been such a good hook.
Yeah.
Though the dispenser has risen clear above the surrounding buildings, it begins to quickly reverse its path, returning to the ground with efficiency. Under Clark's focus, it returns to the same spot on the street. Clark drops the wand and steps away. He meets Rory's gaze, and they share a moment of shock.
We'll need, dun dun dun, an evidence bag.
I don't know why they didn't have one of those in the first place.
Like it's their job or something? I have no
idea. I know, right?
Right.
Unbeknownst to Clark or Rory, a passersby has been staring. They slip away without being noticed. Cut to
police car.
Clark drives as Rory holds the evidence bag containing the wand, which is still charged, its LED lights glowing.
Did you?
No, I had no idea.
How? Most people figure it out by their teens. Maybe if we're a half genie or less, but...
I don't know, Rory. My parents never hinted at us having magic. I was never interested. The topic just never came up. I never asked about it, and I never tried. What an interesting protagonist.
Not even by accident. I heard about half genies or pure figuring it out by just...
I'm going with
genie. Like half breed, like half genes, like they have half magic genes.
Oh,
it's not genes.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. There's no I there. Half genes. Okay, half genes. Okay. Yeah.
Ew, genie was better.
I thought it was.
Honestly, it's very confusing. I would just stick with half breed.
Yeah.
I mean, but anyway.
Obviously not Rory, because here we are.
Beat. Clark sighs. Clark sighing is a beat. You don't need to.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to snap at you.
No, I mean, I understand. I can't imagine how this feels for you, but...
Another beat. Rory can't help but smirk.
I mean, it's got to be good, right? Even if it's a bit of a shock. You can do magic!
Clark's mind flashes to the image of magical purity protesters yelling around Imred.
I'm not sure. I just hope it doesn't get in the way.
In the way? Dude, the only thing this will do is make our lives easier.
Clark casts him the dubious side-eye. This is exactly what he was talking about. Interior, Imred office, day. Well, Imred is a building, so anyway, Chilem sits alone in her office, so this should be interior Chimlem's office, or Imred building hyphen Chimlem's office.
Yeah.
The door closed. The office is spacious and professionally decorated with memorabilia from her multiple decades as head of development. She is still dressed nicely and appears confident and strong, but up close, she is more aged and worn. She watches a video on her office computer. Her eyes betray a sense of fragility and desperation. The video is archived footage from just after she had taken her current position. In video, Chilam stands in what appears to be an isolated chamber. 2 others are with her,
but
elderly
it's
Chinese men.
secretly a Broadway musical.
I
don't know.
Chinese men, probably 50s. They seem to be twins.
Broadway musical.
Chimlim appears to be frightened of the men, even as they do nothing and say nothing. They stare at her with menace. Slowly, Chimlim yields to their stare, crying out and running off screen. Present, Chimlim turns off the video and buries her face in her hands.
What did you do to me?
There's a knock on the door.
Come in.
Carrie Hall, female, 40s, enters holding a computer tablet. She looks at I'm saying Chalam? I think that's how it is. She looks to Chalam and pauses. That sounds right.
Are you okay, ma'am?
Chalam sighs.
Are we doing the right thing? Are these wands the right thing? You hear about these magical purists.
They don't know what they're talking about. Quite literally, Imred is absolutely doing the right thing, and I can't think of a better development for us to produce. Marketing projects, sales will turn a massive profit for this quarter, far above production, and more importantly, we're giving them public even greater access to magic. There's never been an easier or more convenient way for the non-magical populations to access.
Chalam smiles weakly.
You're so confident, Carrie. Thank you. Now, what do you need? Did you need?
All right, that's 10 pages. So I think, yeah.
Yep, that's.
Yeah. All right. So we have magic and also wands for people who can't do magic. And we have a murder and we have some cool characters. And let's see, we got like a kind of a cool romantic couple, I want to say, and the girl can do a little bit of magic. There's clearly like some world building, and I want to say that the writer wants to talk about John, you were kind of hinting that there was some kind of
there's
thing. So good on you.
The word you're looking
putting out
for
a message that you care about.
Yeah.
Dan, who wants to go next? All right.
I mean, if you're going to do it sounds like you have a little bit of social commentary you want to do. And if you want to do it, this is a good way to do it. I think the using analogies is better for storytelling because the last thing anybody likes, even people that agree with you, is when you're too on the nose. So there was a little bit of that. Maybe it was more, maybe you're going to go in a different direction, but you're just kind of using like, it had a bit of it had a few modern feels to it, especially like when you were describing like the protest scenes and stuff like that. That kind of felt like a good way to connect the audience more emotionally to some of those scenes. So I like that. That wasn't I thought that was done well. The world is interesting. Definitely having like tiered magic systems. That's very interesting. So yeah, I mean, overall, it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, you built a world. We've got a character and a relationship that's kind of cute. I could stand to see more of that. You've got a situation with some inherent drama in your first 10 pages, which is always a good start. And something seems to be happening.
There we go. Constructives. All right. So the writing, a bit more care needs to be taken. One, you're kind of doing a bit of directing from the page with all the beats. Actors, if this movie gets made, right, actors are going to read and they're practiced and they might even do that scene 2 or 3 different ways. And then they're going to edit together whichever one they like the best. So you don't need to be putting in all these beats, like this. People further downstream are going to be taking these ideas and running with it, and you need to put notes that they will find useful when they read it, as opposed to, why is this guy telling me to pause?
If I can, as it was described to me, don't do the director's job unless you're guaranteed the director's job. Don't do the director's job in the script. It's a good way to piss off the director before you've even sold the script. So,
and like, you absolutely don't need all those cut tos. And with the space you saved by taking out the beats and the cut tos, you can put in some white space and break up all those blocks of text. You're still got a fair number of passives in there that I would also encourage you to eliminate. Fortunately, not all of them. But, like, it's cleaning up the grammar. In terms of the stakes of the conflict, I'm not sure what the conflict is right now. So it could be that we haven't had our inciting incident yet. It could be that investigating those murders is the inciting incident. Time will tell, I guess, if we end up reading further into this. But I'm not sure who our protagonist is or what the stakes are, so I can't really give commentary on that yet.
Yeah. John was mentioning that you want to be really careful when you're putting together your social commentary to make sure it's not on the nose. I recommend the same thing about your dialogue, which is incredibly on the nose. Hello, it is my first day at work. I am so confused about my new job. Hello, new partner who I just met today. I hope you don't die in this cat accident. Oops. Luckily, I found out that I'm magical and I'm the coolest shit ever. And also, you didn't die in the trash can accident, because that would be an exciting incident that's also a hug. Like, we can't have that. Now, fine, a little bit of that was catty. And I really wished Rory would die, because we just met him. He's supposed to die. Best person to kill is the guy you just met.
Always.
Yeah, and now, that's one hell of an exciting incident. First day on the job. Oops, I'm magic. I just murdered my partner. Let's go.
Right? Wait, and then he has to cover up his own partner's
or
murder.
It's like a scenario like in what's that good cop movie about that? Minority Report, or the best parts of the Will Smith iRobot, where he doesn't have a partner, and actually, oops, this is a hot mess, and it's partially my own fault. What do I do?
Yeah.
That's a good scenario, because even if the intro is bad, and he's the blandest guy ever, let me tell you, I didn't care about nothing growing up, and I'm the most boring person ever, was the best way to describe a character. That's so fucking likable. Sorry, that was sarcasm. But, even if it's a piece of white bread, you cover it in blood within your first 10 pages, you're doing okay.
There you go.
Now, I just wanted to see some blood, mostly because the dialogue was a little bit bland. So I feel like you should definitely punch that up. Don't have people say, hello, my name is Danny. I am feeling tired because I've had a long day at work. Like, have some conflict, or have some character, or like something, because the characters who live in your audience is being introduced to the world for your first time, but the characters who live in your world aren't. And the way some of the dialogue is going is it feels like they're explaining themselves too much to people who should already know that.
Yeah, and that goes back to your exposition by newscaster, which is never a strong way to open a story. And going to Danny's point, adding in conflict. I mean, okay, so we could get all that exposition from we can get all the information that we glean from the newscaster exposition by having Chalam show up for work in front of her office building, big protest outside, people yelling, screaming, and she's trying to push her way through to get through the front doors. Now we know how people feel. We know why they're there. They could be chanting slogans. It creates drama. It creates tension. We get all of the thing, and then she can get up to her office, because again, the scene that Danny was calling the news, not the news, what do you call it, the stage play or whatever, the musical.
The stage play was a different scene. The stage play was
what I'm saying. at the very, very end, when she's like watching this video camera, she's sitting in her office and she's watching this video feed that has nothing to do with anything. And then she's like all exhausted about these protests. Like she wasn't even thinking about the protest. She was watching this video feed. But if we were introduced to her getting out of her car, walking through a crowd of protesters, being yelled at, having people throw things at her, then she goes into her office, she sits down, exhales, and then when the other lady comes in and she says, "Are we doing the right thing?" Well, now you've built up to that. You've used the tension of that scene. You've conveyed all the same information, and you've done it in a way that's much more conflict driven. And then we can also then see how, like maybe she puts on a game face to get through the crowd because, again, video cameras, all the company shareholders are watching this thing. So if she acts weak in front of that, then that's going to be everywhere. Stock prices tank, so she can't have that. But then when she's finally in her office, then she can like decompress, and that's when we can kind of see who this character really is and get to know them. I think that would strengthen that up a lot. And yeah, I kind of agree with Danny. The cop scene was a little weird. Besides being the dialogue on the nose, it didn't seem very police procedural, and I would advise dialing into the police procedural a little bit more. Just go police procedural plus magic. Like
and that's the other thing. Like these people are sitting there going, "Gosh, it seems like this body fell from a high place, but we don't know. Vehicles don't usually go that high." I'm like, magic exists, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like how does your medical examiner not know? Well, one, he's still on site, so he hasn't taken the body back to the lab, done his autopsies, or done anything like that. They don't come up with cause of death until they do an autopsy. So right now, everything would be preliminary. It looks like blunt force trauma caused by a fall.
Yeah.
But like the guy's like, "Oh, what's this over here? Let's go walk away from our crime scene and go investigate this thing." He should just walk away, leave his partner behind, pick it up, and then be like, "Oh, buddy, take a look at this thing I just found." And why are they handing it off to people instead of just putting it into an evidence bag? Like, to me, it seems like it should go right. Or if you want your magic guy to find it, have him. I mean, I'm assuming that Clark's the main character. So maybe he walks up and then picks it up and then all of a sudden does crazy shit. And I think you were trying to establish that it was supposedly unpowered because the one guy can't recharge it, and apparently he can. But honestly, I think that's something we should maybe develop a little bit later, or maybe he just.
And if you were going to establish that your protagonist can't do magic, maybe do that in the scene with his magical girlfriend and not the scene with his new cop partner.
Sure. Maybe there's a magic
he's
wand.
So jealous of that water trick. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that.
Hey, sweetie, I know you only got the one trick, but why don't you just like learn better magic so you don't have to go all the way to the store to get whatever the fuck she got? Coffee creamer. Magic it over. I can't magic that well. Just because you can't do it doesn't mean I can do everything. Fuck off. Those are people who are actually in a relationship.
Right. Or we play it into a joke, because obviously I don't think they want to make them. I don't think the author wants to make I'm guessing that the two lovebirds are our hero protagonists. So I doubt that he wants to make them not argumentative, but antagonistic toward each other. So they could play it off, make some couple jokes about, oh, honey, maybe when you learn how to do magic, you can do this, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Play it for laughs and have them have a good time. Throw in a couple jokes, and if you have a good director and some good actors, they can play it into the cutesiness of it.
The best thing is with a bad director and some bad actors, it still might accidentally be cute.
Well, then you get the door. Then you get doors or the door instead of like cutesy them giving each other fuck me eyes while they're making jokes to each other about not what they can and can't do magically, or magic jokes in the bedroom.
I mean,
hell, if you got people doing magic.
Yes.
I think before we wrap, I know Preston mentioned the directing from the page thing. Actually, I was reminded when John mentioned the they could be on a Broadway stage scene when magical Elon Musk is watching a video of herself.
Yeah. Which was really weird, by the way.
I mean,
it was very
sort
weird.
of thing Elon would do, but then I got worried Elon was the protagonist in a movie with like some social commentary, and I wanted nothing to do with that.
Okay.
But that's a personal taste problem. So an example of directing from the page is they're in a room that appears to be a jail cell. Yeah, that's the art department's job.
Yes.
It is the job of the movie to take a room and make it look like it's not actually that literal room. That is what movies are. It is all fiction. And
wait, movies are
have
fiction?
You seen Star Wars? They make a lot of places look like they're in outer space, but guess what? They weren't actually in outer space. So that's an example of directing from the page. Like, the room is what? Of course, the room appears to be something. It's a fucking movie. Every room appears to be something in a movie. For all you know, it's a green screen or a volume wall, or it's a sound stage, or it's like, a warehouse somewhere, or it's, who cares? Of course, it appears to be something. It's a movie. That's directing from the page. Don't tell us what it looks like. Tell us what it is. It's someone else's job to make it be that.
All right. Harpies. So, John, we have more harpies tonight.
We do.
All right. Tell us about harpies.
So this is pages.
It's a page 1 rewrite again. Let's go.
All right.
No. This is page 11. It's the continuation from last week.
Okay, so this is not a brand new version of Harpies. This is Harpies like 5. Or 4.3 or whatever version we're on.
It's version number 18, as you can see up in the top corner.
18.
Okay.
Yes.
And can you remind us which version we're in?
So in this version, Mueller showed up on his airship over London, started bombing the shit out of it.
Mueller.
And then Longfu dropped down from the sky, and
right, and there was the butler and stuff.
Right, and then there was the butler, and basically she fought, got thrown overboard, and then started giving us expositional. As she's falling from the airship, she's giving us expositional backstory, narrational backstory.
This is the good version of Harpies. This is what you're saying.
So far, yes.
Okay.
So we are picking up in the shower scene.
There you go.
We're picking up in our expositional shower scene because what better way to do exposition than by having your characters be naked?
Yes. Like, look, just like there used to be newscasts where there was female anchors who would just be undressed while they were reading you the news. Like boobs can make anything interesting. They always just go with exposition. There you go.
Yep. So who would like to narrate?
I'll do it.
There you go.
All right.
Okay. Interior, HMS Duke of Cambridge showers day. Erin returns her pistols to the shelf.
If you had lost that bet, him I would have shot.
Longfu turns on her shower setting the water temperature.
Oh, relax. When have I ever lost a bet when it comes to food? Besides, we almost never get the showers to ourselves.
Why do you think I come here?
Preston is Aaron.
I am. Why do you think I come here?
Because you're dirty.
Aaron picks up the drop bar of soap and returns to her unsolved formula.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Oh, she's trying to solve a math formula which she drew on the bathroom wall with soap.
Oh, okay. All right. I do it to get peace and quiet.
I'm peaceful and quiet, like a mouse or rain on a Sunday afternoon.
Woohoo! Woo! Longfu turns to the blaring siren on the wall. Oops.
Hey, she said she wanted peace and quiet.
A loud speaker barks.
All pilots report to the runway. Nazi airship spotted approaching London. All pilots report to the runway.
Longfu and Aaron exchange glances.
Get dressed.
Interior, HMS Duke of Cambridge, War Room. Aaron enters the War Room. Sorry, I'm now thinking about that Kubrick film. As the commander
no fighting in the war room.
Behind his radar attacks, watching blips on a screen.
Commander, our guns are ineffective. It's like they've got some kind of force field. I've never seen anything like this before.
Muffled gunfire can be heard over the radio as the lines click dead.
We've lost the transmission.
Get it back, God damn it. Someone tell me what the hell is going on out there. Commander, I need a Lysander.
Hell no. I'll do the commander. Sir, Commander and Aaron have a lot of lines back and forth.
This could be the move we've been anticipating the Nazis would make.
Another reason I'm not sending a girl out there.
Commander, please don't make me pull rank here.
I outrank you, Lieutenant.
I wasn't speaking as an army officer.
The commander grits his teeth furious.
Fine. You got a death wish? Go. I'll have your jet brought up.
I don't even know what that meant, but all right. Fair enough.
She works for MI6.
Oh, okay.
John's comma button is broken. Exterior, HMS Duke of Cambridge, runway, day. Aaron marches across the runway with Long Fu in tow.
We're really going through with this?
An unstoppable super weapon with a magnetic repulsion force field. Sound at all familiar?
Aaron salutes the air boss as he prepares the Westland Lysander Mark II for her. He returns salute, and Aaron climbs into the pilot's seat. Long Fu climbs up behind her. The air boss waves them forward. Aaron taxis the Lysander down the runway to take off. Exterior, skies over London. Day, Aaron takes position behind the reinforcement attack squadron as they approach London. Smoke rising from the skyline can be seen from miles away.
My God.
Look at that size of that thing. It's as big as the Duke.
Exterior, SMS Ernst von Hefner. Day, the airship continues its bombardment of this. It is bombardment. That's the wrong day.
It is.
Yeah.
Of the city as the side gun batteries keep the Spitfires at bay. Interior, Westland Lysander Mark II. Long Fu leans forward as she and Aaron stare at the airship.
How does something that big stay in the air?
I have no idea. It's
boom, boom. Aaron shakes at the sounds of the cannons firing.
Okay, keep it together. Commander, we're breaking position and increasing altitude to 6,500 feet. Put on your mask.
Aaron and Long Fu don their oxygen masks as Aaron ascends.
What do you want me to do?
Think of a way to take down that airship.
You're the brains of this outfit. I'm just here to punch stuff.
Long Fu watches as the machine gun turrets shoot down another Spitfire.
If you got on top of the ship, I could jump down.
That's not what you wrote.
If you got over top. Oh, yes, That's probably more correct. Over top the airship.
Are you insane? Wait, don't answer that.
If I was down there, I can punch stuff. And you know I'm good at punching stuff.
There must be 2,000 soldiers on board.
I took a nuke to the face. I'm pretty sure I can handle a couple insignificant soldiers.
Aaron takes a grease pencil out of her bracer and starts writing an geometry calculation. That's the wrong indefinite article, John. On the side window.
God damn it.
What?
Aaron activates the radio.
Commander, this is Lieutenant Rice. You're not going to like this, but I have an idea.
What do you want?
If we can get over top of the airship, the Avatar thinks she can jump down on the deck and cause enough havoc to get them to break off.
And what do you need from me? Oh, and what do you need me for?
That's an excellent question. I think the answer is nothing really.
But why is he in this comic?
Yeah, why is he here? I don't know. All right. The machine gun batteries. If they spot us, they'll shoot us down before we get close enough.
Interior, HMS Duke of Cambridge, War Room. The commander swallows hard as his face wrinkles in frustration.
We need a distraction, but sir, they're your guys. It's your call to make.
That's very British diction. All eyes in the room turn to him. The commander raises the radio.
Can she make the jump?
Based on the current wind speed, if our approach angle is correct, yes, sir, I believe she can.
God damn it.
The commander swallows hard.
All
this
pilot.
is a John script.
Say what?
Yeah.
Well, I just remember you just reminded us it was a John Lamont script.
Oh. All pilots, this is the commander. I need you to fly low and draw the attention of the AA batteries away from the lieutenant and the Avatar. May God have mercy on us all.
Exterior, SMS Ernst von Hepner Day. The Spitfires approach the airship from all angles close to the deck level, drawing fire from the machine gun batteries. Exterior, Westland, Lysander, Mark II, Day. Aaron squints with one eye while holding up the grease pencil to judge their distance to the target.
Get ready to jump.
It's still way over there.
You're going to catch the wind and right at 15 degrees to...
You do the math. Just tell me when.
Longfu pulls the canopy back, pulling off her radio headset and mask. Unbuckling herself, she stands up leaning over the side of the jet. Longfu stares down nearly 2,000 meters to the ground.
I shouldn't have had that second milkshake.
Reaching forward, she touches Aaron's shoulder. Aaron glances over the side, taps Longfu's hand. Longfu leaps from the Lysander.
Commander, pull anyone back.
Yes, anyone.
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 What do you mean, anyone?
All pilots.
Interior, HMS Duke of Cambridge, War Room, Day. The commander takes charge.
All pilots retreat out of firing range, but maintain visual.
Exterior, SMS Ernst von Hepner, deck, Day. Longfu lands on the deck in a superhero landing before standing and giving a smile.
Hello, boys. All caught up? Great. Now, where were we?
Oh, right. That was all a flashback for like 10,000 pages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exterior, London. You got to tag your flashbacks in your locations, John.
Yeah.
So you go like, flashback exterior or whatever.
So the reason why I didn't is because when I tag flashbacks, that's a cue to my colorist to do it in sepia tone.
Yes.
And these I don't want in sepia tone. These are going to be in. They're not real flashbacks. You're going
to instead of confusing your illustrator, you confuse your audience.
Confuse the audience. Yeah.
Well, no, because they're going to go. There's going to be a scene where she says how remember she's falling and she says today started out great.
Yeah, and then we not cut doing to Aaron. Whole splash pages to bookend it. I feel like you're doing it wrong. Anyways, exterior London Day. Longfu falls from the airship.
Shit!
Longfu crashes through the roof of a bombed-out building.
Ow!
Sorry, yes, boom. Sorry. Interior Westland Lysander Mark II Day. Aaron winces, exhaling.
Shit.
She circles the airship.
Lieutenant, I'm getting reports the Avatar is no longer on the airship.
That would be correct, sir, but I have another idea.
God damn it, Lieutenant.
Sir, patch me into one of the Spitfire captains. Trust me. I think it should be Spitfire pilots. Like, why do we need specifically a captain?
Well, there's two of them. Someone has to be the captain. I got nothing.
Yeah.
This is Captain Ross. What can I do for you, Lieutenant?
How good is your aim, Captain?
Doesn't matter with their shields.
Metal can't penetrate their shields, but we're going to penetrate them with gas.
Such a John Lamont script. You want to fart on them?
Sort of. I want you to line up behind me and shoot out my gas tank, but don't blow me up.
This is such a John Lamont script. I mean, between the captain of the war room and this, like, fart trade? With all due respect, Lieutenant, have you lost your damn mind?
I'm covered in plot armor. I have no concerns. I'm sure it will work. Can you do that for me?
Copy. Moving into position. Aaron,
I predict it works magnificently.
Sorry?
I predict it works magnificently.
I mean, Frankie does say relax.
Exactly.
I was going to wait for John to stop wheezing because his face went through 4 different colors during that scene. It's good. He's branching out. Now he's doing butt stuff and stuff with the commander.
Aaron draws another geometry formulation on the window with her grease pencils.
Right. In position.
When I tell you, start counting down from 5, then shoot.
Copy. Aaron approaches the airship. She squints before taking another visual measurement with her grease pencil before returning it to her bracer.
Now.
5, 4. Aaron reaches for the ejector level. 3, 2. Aaron pulls the level. Yes, level. The canopy pops open and her seat ejects. Oh no, her seat, but what about the other people? Exterior, skies over London, day. The Spitfire captain fires lightly, tapping the back of the Lysander. A fire erupts in the wings. Unpiloted, the Lysander arches downward towards the bridge. Interior, SMS Ernst von Hefner, bridge day. The Capitan glances to the side as the burning Lysander's arches toward the side of the ship. Was some kloppern? John, what is that supposed to mean?
I think it means what the shit or something like that, or what the hell.
Hey, you're back to a normal color.
Yeah. Thank you.
Look, you man, you're the one who wrote it. Exterior, SMS Ernst von Hefner, bridge day. About 2 meters from the plate glass, the nose of the Lysander activates the magnetic repulsion shield, crumbling. VFX. The sheet metal ripples all the way toward the back as if it hit solid rock in slow motion. Kaboom! The shields explode, sending a blast wave, penetrating the shield. Interior, SMS Ernst von Hefner, bridge day. The plate glass windows on the starboard side of the airship explode as the fireball blasts through the bridge, knocking the Capitan and his crew on their asses. The rudder wheel spins wildly as the entire ship begins to tilt to the port side. Papers, chairs, anything not tied down slips to the side. The rudder pilot reaches for the wheel to stop the spin, but his arm gets caught in his spokes, pulling him into the wheel. Bones shatter, blood splatters. The pilot's arm turned into bloody jello. He cries out in pain. The Capitan leaps onto the wheel, finally stopping the spin and leveling out the airship. The pilot falls free, his arm resembling nothing more than bloody mush as he continues screaming in pain.
Like you do. Okay. Those are all the pages we get today of our wonderful story.
Yeah, and there's still 4 more pages. This is a long issue 1. I think I'm going to probably cut it into 2.
All right. Well, stuff happened. We had Aaron, we had Long Fu, we had a German Zeppelin with magnetic repulsor beams. There was Aaron doing a lot of geometry. There was the shower scene. I think that was most everything. Long Fu made some food jokes. That's like her brand, her trademark. She has to make a food reference. And I want to say now, granted, we're going over the same, but like Long Fu makes a food reference like once every other page.
Not as often as Aaron does geometry.
Yeah, Erin's doing
never done in any of the other 5 issues of comics she's been in.
Right. Yeah, Long Fu made 1 or 2 food references, whereas Erin worked out 3 geometry equations.
And how could you even see through that window with all that crap on it? Anyways,
she's writing on the side of the window, not on the windshield.
There was some interesting dramatic situations, a lot of back and forth. Your discussion scenes were like kind of integrated into the action, so that was really nice to see. People weren't just standing around talking to each other. So that was sort of neat. Something happened. They tried to counterattack the Zeppelin. So the plot moved forward, and you branched out into butt stuff. There was some weird human centipede shit going on there. So midair with fighter planes. It was real confusing. Just the way I like it.
Do you like it confusing?
Sorry?
You like it confusing then?
I mean, if you're going to do weird stuff, it might as well be confusing.
When it comes to constructors, I want to say I was indeed right that Erin's insane plot succeeded. And, fine. I don't like where Long Fu goes. I took a nuke to the face because I already find Long Fu like a very stakes lowering character. She's not afraid of anything, and she seems mostly invincible. So whenever she's on, I just feel like, well, why should I care what this invincible Mary Sue's gonna do? Yes. Anyway, I would have liked the story a little bit more if she actually would have missed the ship, which lines up in your plot because she ends up like on the ground anyway, right? So what if she just misses?
Well, then they wouldn't have a fight scene with the butler.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Anyway, well, we worked it out. I feel like in worlds where we don't really understand the technology at play, like we don't really understand how a force field could really work or would really function and stuff. Like everything, like Star Trek, everything's just kind of the whole world is made up as to why the ship is able to go anywhere anyway, and all the problems are made up. So like the plot can always just be explained with a sufficient amount of technobabble. And I feel like this is another kind of world where any sufficient amount of technobabble can explain anything. And I'm relatively certain that Long Fu and Erin will be doing just fine and probably emerge victorious and unscathed.
Right. So I've got 2 constructors for this. The first is sort of dovetailing off of Preston's thing, which is like, you are kind of in the sort of world where you have magical stuff and apparently a nuke way early and all this other stuff. So you are in the sort of world where a bunch of technobabble can explain anything. And for some fucking reason, you decided that any amount would be a lot. So consider revising. And the other thing was, as I always feel about flashbacks, it didn't bloody help. If it was important enough to be in your story in the first place, at the beginning of your story, it would be there. It's not. It doesn't need to be there. It doesn't help.
Should I?
You could cut all of that. It wouldn't affect.
So should I do the story linear then?
No, you just cut that entire scene with the shower and have the action scene get more actiony, and you can keep all the butt stuff.
Yeah.
But the butt stuff was just stuff you were pulling out of your butt based on dialogue, not actual.
Let's all get in a train behind you and like attack your tail. Come on, dude.
But fine. But we're still not.
Like anyway. You've given us an action scene. That's supposed to be the interesting part. So why are you so unconfident in your interesting part? You decide to stop it for a minute and give us some tits.
So should I start with the tits and then do the action scene?
No, just do the action scene and have an excuse for tits later. Like after they're done this entire battle, maybe.
Or even during.
Well, right now it is during.
There you go.
You know, maybe if someone actually sustains some battle damage, you'd see their tits.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. The reason why I did it this way, because the last time I presented the script, you didn't like all of the introduction of the characters before Longfu jumped on the ship, and you suggested that she just appear on the ship.
Yeah,
and that's
I still
why
don't like all the introduction of the characters after she jumps off the ship. Her jumping off the ship is a fine introduction to her character. We don't need another one. This is a show don't tell thing. You're doing a perfectly good job of showing that you just have to stop and tell us. You should have more confidence in your action scene.
I have another Stage 32 script.
I've got time. Sure, why not?
All
Didn't
right.
that didn't our friend on the other end of the globe have a script as well?
Our friend on the other. Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I don't know.
In the Discord.
All right, so I'm looking in the Discord. All right, scripts
I think he posted
only.
it like yesterday.
I don't. All right, so I see you posted yesterday for Harpies. Oh, and okay, they're La Vigilante. Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. La Vigilante. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, because he presented the first set of pages the last time.
Which one's La Vigilante? Because wasn't there 2 Vigilante Girl scripts like in a row by different people?
Yes.
There was the one where they were
twins.
Asian identical twins by Ulfgar Osterhoff.
Right, the one that's a weirdly high schooly university one.
Yes.
And so is this that one or the other one?
This is the other one.
The other one had promise.
Yeah, this is the one that had promise that we liked.
Here we go with this promising script.
Oh, look at that. You're doing the artist job for them already.
Yep.
Well, this one is going to be a comic. I think he is planning to make this one a comic.
Now, hold on. This is the first page, isn't it? Like, didn't we see this stuff already?
All I can say is...
I remember the electric motorcycle something from before.
I think he might be reusing the image.
Maybe. All right, so who's narrating this?
Toddler Katrina runs away. The rose withers. Cut to... Why are people obsessed with cut to? Anyhow.
And then fade to black, like it's going to fade to something else.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
as opposed to fading to
static images.
Yeah. Really, it should just be fade to : because we're fading between one and another. Exterior graveyard sunset. Young Katrina stands at her brother's gravestone holding a single flower. Young sister Teresa, these passives, is standing behind her, and in the background is Coach smoking a cigar.
No, that's a weird transition.
Yes. Fade to black. Highway 99 night. Katrina riding on her electric motorcycle late at night with the city in the background. She is thinking to herself about the case, dressed in all black with a backpack.
According to Caro's notes, Nadia's mother said she left to the Harvest Festival early with her friend Trixie. They met up with another friend at the festival, including Dinah, and decided to go to an after party. They decided to take separate cabs, but Nadia never arrived. The last message Trixie received from Nadia was that she had stopped on the way to drop Dinah off at the house. Using her location tags from her posts on InstaSnap, I can see they are telling the truth. So, what happened to Nadia on the way to the party? Dinah should have more answers. I need to talk to her.
All right. So Katrina's just narrating her thoughts.
It's that car scene from Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford is just sitting there.
Yeah.
And then with the post-production narration that he hated.
Yeah. Yeah. Exterior Dinah's house night. Katrina pulls up to Dinah's house in District 1. She knocks on the door.
I think that's District 3.
You're right. It is District 3.
Hold down control and scroll the mouse wheel.
Oh, look at that. That's neat. She knocks on the door. At first, there's no answer.
Windows for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Or more.
Someone peeks through the window curtains.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you're on Mac.
No, this is Windows.
Oh, it is?
You can do it on the Mac, too, with Command. It's fine.
Yeah, but I just want to say, part of, now that I'm on Windows machine, you notice it's crashing when I close Windows and stuff. It just didn't happen when I was on Mac.
For you.
Yeah. It's dark inside. The door opens, and Dinah's mother, Donna Clara, an old, grumpy woman, answers.
Buenas noches. ¿Quién
Buenas, senora. I'm Katrina, a private investigator, here on behalf of Nadia's fam.
Look, I already spoke with the authorities.
I understand, ma'am, but we would like to get as much exposure as possible to have a better chance of recovering Nadia.
Well, you came to the wrong place.
Just one question. I promise. I just need a description of the cab and driver that picked her up that night.
Donna Clara takes a couple steps forward and shuts the door.
Cab? She didn't take a cab. She rode with a gentleman. My daughter had never met him until that night, and she doesn't remember his name.
Can you describe the vehicle? A photo, something, please.
Dina, a tall, thin, well-dressed 19-year-old, appears behind Donna Clara.
Katrina, I know you. You were on the Santa Rosa News.
Hi. Yes.
Eres la conductora del noticiero por la mañana. Oh my God. Ma, ¿por qué no me llamas?
That was pretty good.
My Spanish is shit. Mostly I don't speak it.
Yes.
I like it all.
Am I Donna? I'm the narrator.
Oh, I'm Donna. It's something serious, mija. One of your friends is missing. Please, Katrina, do not get Dina into more trouble. That was terribly Italian. I'm sorry.
That's fine. You can do Italian. Of course. I just want to recover Nadia. See? You can do Italian. Please give me something I can use.
Bring her back, Katrina. Here's a picture we took before she left for the party. You can see the pickup. That guy was inside waiting for her. Accept my friend request, and I'll send it to your Insta. What is happening?
Katrina pulls out her phone.
Did you show this to the police?
No, because I didn't want her to be a target. Who knows what Nadia got herself into? She started hanging around wrong crowd, and that's why I didn't let Dina go to that party.
But this could really help. Wait, but if Dina went to the party, maybe she wouldn't have gotten kidnapped.
None of it makes any sense. Just go full soap opera, give it the most dramatic thing ever. Like, we're gonna have our chance to crit this afterwards, and trust me, this is
okay. But this could really help the investigation.
You have no idea how it's been lately. Those thugs, the maniacos, and their territorial wars. Anyone can become a target once you involve yourself. Look at what happened last week at the Red Neon District.
I understand.
So when the SRPD investigators interrogated us, I simply told them she dropped Dina off that night and left. My mom is right. Soon after her disappearance made the news, I started getting threats and strange phone calls.
I just accepted your friend. Oh my gosh. I just accepted your friend request. Send me any info.
Send me now.
Don't worry, I won't make this public. You're right.
How big is the file size?
Hold on, let me delete some of these selfies because I'm running out of storage on my phone.
And let's hope that whoever owns Insta whatever actually cares about privacy and encrypts the messages. Otherwise, everybody can see it anyway.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I won't make this public. You're right. You can become a target. Lay low for now. Be safe and listen to your mom. We'll talk later. Oh, and I was never here.
Got it.
Behind Katrina, a red pickup pulls up with music blaring. The door opens and out walks Jesse, a heavy-set man in his mid-20s, wearing a collared shirt and jeans and boots.
What did you say to the cops? I'm talking to you, bitch. What the fuck did you say about me? Oh, this is the gentleman. Preston.
Yes. Yeah. Oh. Well, I'm
Jesse. We're on top of 18 now. Yeah.
Yeah, you're on 18. Yeah. Jesse walks angrily towards the door where Katrina, Dina, and Donna Clara stand.
Don't talk to her like that. Where's Nadia?
Katrina places her hand on Dina's shoulder. I just want to say, I want to
take the news reporter.
All right. I just want to take a minute and say, I really appreciate these action lines. They're so nice. They're fairly brief. Jesse, their active voice. Jesse walks angrily towards the door where Katrina, Dina, and Donna Clara stand. Like it's perfect. It's so good. And then look again. Katrina places her hand on it. It's so good. So clear, simple, concise. Good job. Anyway. Donna Clara.
Please leave immediately. Who are you? Don't get involved. Dina, come with me right now. We need to talk. Oh my God, I'm going to be like 3 people all in an argument together. Because I'm going to keep going. Like, let's go. I'm into this.
2 more thugs get out of the pickup and walks towards them.
Dina, get back.
Get her. No!
Oh, now I'm going to have to take back everything I just said. Look at this. Oh, all right. This is an assault on the senses. Dina Clara starts screaming as the fight begins. Katrina see, all right.
I'm not going to scream throughout this entire narration.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying, like, all right. So again, going back to that's one shot, right? Donna Clara starts screaming as the fight begins. Then Katrina kicks Thug 1, and he immediately drops. Like there should be carriage returns here because these are all going to be separate shots. Unless
Donna Clara is actually screaming through the entire paragraph.
Yeah. Oh, well, hello, Vito. Thank you so much. Yeah, he made over 100K. So good job.
Damn.
Oh,
share the
congratulations.
Let's see. My end. Is this a detective story? I guess maybe.
Putatively.
She's a news reporter investigating.
But there is a detective who's someone else.
Yeah.
A news reporter and a detective are both being detectives for some reason.
Yeah, something like that. Yes. I forget who the detective was.
So I'm just going to, but I just want to reinforce, like, this needs to be broken up. These should all be separate lines. All right. Katrina's head kicks Thug 1 and he immediately drops. Thug 2 takes a swing at her. She head locks Thug 2 and Fern grabs her by the hair. She kicks Thug 2. I don't know who Fern is. It's Fern. Someone who grabbed someone by the hair out of the way and spins and elbows Fern in the gut, who is standing behind her, and he releases her hair. Fern swings, but Katrina ducks and cartwheel kicks him in the chin. Thug 2 pulls a gun, but Katrina grabs her baton, extends it, and snaps it out of his hand, then performs her signature spin kick knockout and holsters her baton. We hear tires squealing as the red pickup with Fern in it speeds off. Katrina runs after it and tosses a tractor into the truck bed. She quickly turns to Thug 1, who is waking up. She jumps on him and proceeds to interrogate him.
Wow, that was a lot.
That was a whole bunch.
Donna, Clara, Dina, call for help. I don't
Katrina
know why she
proceeds.
Help. She clearly took control of the situation.
She did, yes. Let's see.
He jumps on him and proceeds to interrogate him by talking to different people entirely.
Katrina proceeds to interrogate Thug 1.
Where's Nadia? Where is he going? Wait, you just put a tracker on his truck so you know where he's going. What's his name? Talk.
Thug 1 is unresponsive. She smacks the thug back to life.
Well, that's some superpowers.
Is that how head trauma works?
Wake up!
Wake up! Universe. Like amnesia,
Yeah.
They bang their head, they lose their memory, they bang it again, and the memory comes back.
Exactly.
That was how I learned how brains worked when I was a kid.
There we go. Katrina breaks his.
No, sorry.
Katrina breaks his finger. Donna Clara calls for help in the background. Dina holds a broomstick. A small boy is watching through the window from inside the house.
Spill it. Give up the act. Where are y'all going to date Dina?
His name is Jesse Gomez. He said we were just going to date Dina. Keep her mouth shut.
Then who is Fern?
I don't know.
Fern was the one that got in the truck and drove away, not Jesse.
He disappeared middle action scene and did stuff.
Getting back to the writing thing,
yeah.
So I don't have to say it later, is she asked a where question and got a who answer.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Yeah,
he did not answer the question she was actually asking.
Katrina breaks his second finger.
Where is Nadia? Where did he go?
Thug 1 cries and writhes on the floor as Katrina bears down on him with her full weight. Police sirens.
120 pounds of it.
All that weight. Yeah. Police sirens can be heard in the background getting closer.
He never mentioned her. Please let me go. He works at the Machida warehouse in District 3.
Oh, hell yeah, he does. Police cars pull up. Katrina walks towards them and points at the criminals. Thug 1 and 2 are arrested as Katrina speaks with Donna Clara and Dina and Dina's little 10-year-old brother, Chico, the small boy from before. Thank you for that note. Who walks outside wearing a superhero mask.
So wait, she just assaulted 3 people and tortured one of them. Why is she not being arrested?
Why isn't her name Karen?
Karen?
I mean, just show up and assault people and then assume the police will have your back is so Karen.
It's Katrina. No se puede Donna Clara, todo estará bien.
Thank you for your help. Dios la bendiga.
I'm sure Nadia comes home. I'll make sure Nadia comes home safe.
Forgive me for not being straightforward.
Of course. Who's this little cutie? Hey, Carino. What's your name?
Yo soy Chico. You're Katrina from the TV.
Yes, I am. But you keep that between us because nobody else is going to recognize my face.
Apparently nobody will recognize your face while it's being assaulted.
Or assaulting.
Yeah, I know, right?
Thanks for your help, Chico. Take care of your mom.
Katrina buzzes off on her cycle.
You recognize her?
No, why?
Why?
Lol. Seems familiar.
I have no clue. Finish the report and request a 48-hour patrol drone.
Patrol drone? Really?
Yeah, we got a couple manicos here. They won't be safe. Unless they're a bunch of racist white cops and they don't watch Hispanic television, and that's why they don't recognize her.
There you go.
I mean, it would be great if the world introduced that at any point.
Exterior Highway 99 night. Katrina rides her bike on highway at night.
Gypsy, locate tracker 5.
Signal interrupted.
Gypsy, call coach.
What's up, Cat? Everything okay?
Meow, coach. I received information on a possible kidnapper. I'm headed to Machina warehouse.
Send me your location. Don't move till I get there. She's on a motorcycle. She doesn't move. Whatever.
See you there. Gypsy, send my location to coach.
Location is live. Tracker signal restored.
Gotcha.
Her electric motorcycle zips down the highway. Exterior Machina warehouse night. Katrina pulls up to the warehouse. It's a steel warehouse with smaller storage buildings on its side. This needs to be cleaned up. All right. There's a security guard in the guard shack by the entrance. The warehouse is surrounded by fencing with the barbed wire at the top and no trespassing signs. There are security cameras at the entrance and the edge of the property. There is a huge water tower next to the warehouse, along with the box trucks, shipping containers, and piles of steel pipes. The moon lights up the warehouse. Jesse's red pickup is parked next to a storage building. Katrina dismounts her bike in a small alleyway between the fence and the building next to it. She covers her face with a cloth mask that hangs around her neck and arms herself with weapons from her backpack.
Sorry, Coach, but I gotta move fast. First, let's take care of these cameras. These should provide cover.
I love it when scripts tell instead of showing.
There you go. She grabs a few fog pellets and tosses the pellets across the fence. Fog quickly encompasses the area. The fog covers the entrance and eventually the entire warehouse. She creeps toward
That's not how fog works.
She creeps towards the entrance through the fog. The security guard walks outside the shack.
Where did all this fog come from?
All right.
Jesse's voice comes through the walkie-talkie.
Nacho, what's going on? Is that smoke?
Katrina lands behind the guard, puts him in a headlock, and puts him to sleep. She grabs his walkie-talkie.
Buenas noches, Jesse.
Who's this?
Give up. Stop running. I know you've got Nadia.
Nadia's voice comes squeaking through the walkie-talkie.
Help!
Jesse is
Listen to me. Whoever you are, you just made a big mistake.
Set her free, and I won't hurt you. Repent, and you can still come out of this in God's good graces.
I repent to no one. Cabrones, bring her to me.
Vito's giving notes. Let's see. The warehouse. The warehouse. Yeah, the warehouse overhead doors open. 5 thugs burst out of the warehouse with 2 more security guards. They sprint towards Katrina, ready to do Jesse's bidding. Katrina prepares for battle.
Who called the paparazzi?
Sorry, what?
I don't know.
She's about to throw flash grenades.
Katrina throws a couple of flash pellets. The thugs spread out blinded. She grabs her collapsible baton, extends it, and smashes it against Thug's one head, knocking him out cold. She kicks Thug 2 in the chest, then performs a flurry of strikes and drops him. She spins and sweeps Thug 3 to the ground, then jumps on him and smashes his face.
You know, at least when I give my characters plot armor, like I have plot reasons for it.
Yeah, but you don't write video games.
That's right.
Which is what we're clearly reading.
Ah, true that.
This is the super move scene.
Yes.
She's calling out her super moves. That's a video game thing. And that entire dialogue bit where the character who shouldn't be there at all is somehow important to the plot, even though somebody whose job it actually isn't there, that's a video game thing. And then a random conflict shows up because there's a bunch of dialogue. It's a video game thing. We're just watching a scripted cutscene. Sorry, It's not time for crits.
All right.
Yeah. Snapshot blurry.
There we go. Security guard 1 pulls his weapon. I'm prepared to wager he doesn't manage to shoot him. Still trying to see through the flash. She tosses her baton at him and he drops his weapon. Then she pulls her whip out and whips it around his neck. Then kicks him to the ground.
Where the fuck did she get a whip?
Ready for my close-up.
See, it's such a video game scene.
She whips security guard 2 across the back. He turns to her with his weapon in hand, but she whips him senseless, causing him to drop his weapon. She then holsters her whip. She leaps and knees security guard 2 in the face, knocking him out cold.
That's a pretty high jump to get her knee up that high.
It's pretty impressive to whip people accurately in the middle of a giant fucking fog.
That doesn't work the way it's... Keep your hands to yourself.
Thug 4 runs up and grabs her from behind. Thug 5 runs up and swings at her, but she drops kicks Thug's 5 and headbutts and tosses Thug 4 and a forward motion on top of the other. Thug 1 gets up and quickly runs away.
Hell yeah!
She picks up her baton and throws it perfectly at him, knocking him out cold. She walks up to him and picks up her baton, placing it in the holster on her back, looking at all the thugs and security guards, all knocked out. She grabs the walkie-talkie, blaring with Jesse's cries.
What's happening? Where is she? Someone clear this damn fog.
I'm right here. Just you and me.
All right. There we go. Those are all the pages that were fit to print. So, well, we had a lot of happening. We had an action. We had Katrina, who certainly dominated that last action scene. I sadly, if I'm going to be honest, I don't know if she's our protagonist, but I suspect she is. She seems like it. Anyway,
I mean, it's not the little boy.
Yeah, she did some cool stuff. We met a guy named Fern in the middle of an action scene. He ran off with something, and
then never was heard from again because Jesse's back. Because I was wondering what happened to Jesse in front of the house because he just kind of disappeared.
Yeah,
he teleported.
Yeah, and I don't know. There's a problem with some of these stories sometimes. Is
right.
like
question: what happened in order?
Okay.
They were at the house. No,
Preston.
she was driving.
No, this is a question for Preston.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. I know how it ended. I'm trying to remember. There was investigations and stuff. I don't remember who was saying what. It was something.
Now, was that just I'm a bad voice actor today? Okay. So yeah, stuff. A lot of stuff happened.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was a weird interrogation scene,
yes.
And then some fucking guy shows up and starts a fight with a gang for no fucking reason.
Yes, now they mention it that did happen.
And then Karen is just no, don't arrest me for assaulting all these people, and then they don't. They just and then she drives to a warehouse, uses magic fog to beat everybody up.
Yes. No, I remember. Yeah, she gets
there. Destroy the man she just met.
Yeah,
because she's searching for someone who may be missing, and no one else, for some reason, can possibly help her with this. Especially not the people whose job it is to help her with this,
like the police
or her coach.
Well, her coach is her boxing coach because she's also a kickboxer, I think.
But isn't she a TV newscaster?
She's a TV newscaster, and she's also a kickboxer.
And also, a fucking baton throwing champion and a martial whip user.
Yes.
with spy gear.
Yes.
And magic fog.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That wasn't made very clear to me at any time in the story until it happened.
Well, you didn't need to know about it until it happened.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, John, your turn.
Well, it was a story.
Yeah. Larry was impressed.
Did it have a beginning, middle, or end? Describe one complete scene.
Oh man, it was.
It's tough, right?
I mean, the scenes were only half a page, man. You can do this.
Yeah.
Well, I liked her quippiness.
Okay.
You guys have read my stuff. I'm a fan of the quippy fighters.
Yes.
So I kind of got a chuckle at her cheesy puns and one-liners as she's beating the crap out of people.
Name one of them.
Well, when she threw the flashbangs and said, here's the paparazzi, and I'm here for my close-up, as she headbutts somebody.
Okay, so literally the only thing you remember is the last page, the thing that you looked at most recently.
Yes.
Well, I'm trying to think of positives. So yes, that's what I liked about it. There we go.
There we go. It was quippy. All right.
Yes, I like quippy characters. So
okay.
that was my
constructives.
I'm
not sure what our conflict is that's driving the story forward.
Clearly, she's investigating a kidnapping.
Okay, sure. That's I don't. I feel like that conflict could change like next page. Like we could turn the page and oh wow, there's the girl from the kidnapping, but now there's this other thing. So like,
you mean like the time where we were in the middle of a conflict and then someone else showed up and it was
right? Yeah, I feel like I could change.
And then they got friendly on Instagram.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and then they got the did you accept my friend request and all that?
And now I'm gonna send personal private information that I don't want anybody to know through Instagram.
Yeah.
Because that's completely private and secure.
Just fucking airdrop it. Jesus. I know, right?
Yeah. So I would like, at this page we're fairly into this, we're 20 pages in. I would like the conflict to be more, right? Because clearly when you're showing the action scenes, and John, this is kind of a note from your stories too, when you're showing the action scenes where I know the main character girl boss is just going to mop the floor with everybody and there's nothing really all that important going on. So what? Like how is this really developing anything? It's just showcasing how invincible your character is. So I don't find that a truly meaningful conflict, right? It's like, oh, Luke Skywalker.
That's where my comment on it being quippy and fun is. Like that.
Yeah.
To me, that kind of is supposed to offset the fact that yes, our character is going in with plot armor. We know nothing's going to happen to them. This is the first act. The main character is not going to get shot, stabbed, or mutilated in the first act of an action film. That's just not going to happen.
That happens in Die Hard.
Well, Die Hard, yes. Okay, I'm talking about more in this genre, which this kind of reminded me of like Fast and Furious. When you walk into Fast and Furious 10, they have plot armor on like up to the wazoo.
Sure.
So what sells those movies is not your fear that Dom Toretto is not going to come out of the story unscathed. You're going into that for crazy action and how far can they push the envelope this time.
Right.
All right.
That's what you're going for. So I think if that's what you're doing, then lean into it 110%, and that's kind of what I see what you're doing. If you're not doing that and you want us to fear for the safety of your main character, then yes, you have to freaking Die Hard it.
Anyway, I got all right. So, Danny,
I can go.
All right, go ahead.
So, I forgot to mention this during the constructives, but I actually really did like the telenovela energy during the four-way argument scene.
Sure.
That was actually, I mean, it was incoherent, but the energy was really good. So that's actually one of the good things about this is like everything is very dramatic. It's problematically dramatic. I also agree with John and Preston that the nature of the conflict that is driving the story forward is actually very unclear and is not at the forefront of some of these scenes. But like shit's happening. People are showing up and being assholes. That's a vibe, and there's a lot to recommend that vibe. But I mean, the dialogue during the interrogation scene was just batshit. And like it went back and forth between two different characters. They were overlapping their themes and like their content.
The pronouns weren't working either because it was like who is he? Where did she go? Or where is she?
Yeah.
Who is he?
So like
it kept jumping
all
back
of that, like where did she go? Oh, she left with a gentleman. Oh no, she went with someone else. It wasn't a gentleman at all. It was an Uber. And then a guy shows up in a truck, and it's like, is that the guy? He kept like, and then it's someone else who's just kidnapping some random person in front. What is happening? So yeah, the dialogue had good energy, but was incoherent. And then I really noticed this during the slightly insane action scene at the end, which was just like you're pulling shit out of nowhere, and then it's like, here's my cool action line. Now I'm going to perfectly do this and perfectly do that and perfectly do that. Like, if you're going to structure a story, I recommend reading more stories. And by that, I mean, like, watch even like episodic TV, or watch like actual movies. Because if you base a story off of a video game, you end up with like dialogue that looks like you were talking to two people at once and just clicking randomly through the conversation trees, and then people calling out their super moves in the middle of combat, which is what we just saw. Mm-hmm. And what that is, when someone's trying to follow what you're doing, is you're utterly incoherent. And it's really too bad, because the energy is really good when it's there, but I mean, you keep on dropping it. Preston.
I just, I've already kind of gone, but yeah, I don't see that. If this was the end of issue 1, or 3 or 4 pages after this, whatever, we close this up and then come back and she'll solve more kidnapping in issue 2. I don't know if I'm buying issue 2. In fact, I'm going to say I'm not buying issue 2, because this is not interesting. It's just waltzing through stuff. And
if I could, so as somebody who will totally admit that I love the Fast and Furious franchise, despite I know all the reasons why I know people hate it, but at least in those movies, and I'm going to lean into what Preston was saying, is the conflict. So like, who is this girl that was kidnapped? Why was she kidnapped? What is the urgency to get her back? These are questions that we're 20 pages in and we don't have, or answers to questions that we don't have. And that makes all of the other things not make sense. So even if you want to do the quippy dialogue and the massive plot armor and the big action scenes that are just totally over the top, I'm on board for that, but everything else has to line up at that level. And if you look at any of the Fast and Furious movies, the villain is always over the top. They have some diabolical scheme that is like absolutely insane. Super weapons that are going to like blow up the world, computers that can like hack anything just by, looking at. Like, it's insane what the bad guys are going to be doing. But we know who the bad guys are. We know what they want, and we know why they're doing what they're doing. And then they just go into these massive over-the-top ways of getting about what they're doing, their villainy thing, and our heroes do these major over-the-top hero things in order to stop them. And it's a good, fun time and all of that. And I think if you're going to lean into that, lean into it all the way. And I feel like where this story is kind of falling off is that we don't really know those things. We don't know anything about this person that was kidnapped. We don't know why it's important that she gets back home safe. And because of that, it kind of starts off as kind of a story that's unsure of what it actually wants to be. And I think you just need to figure that out. And I think if you figure out that, then I think a lot of these other problems will probably fix themselves.
Yeah. Exactly. There we go.
John totally loves this genre, right?
Yes.
Hell, I'm writing this genre.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do. And I know not everybody likes this genre.
But so if you're listening to anyone in terms of advice, John at least
this is John Lamont. He's the master of the John Lamont script.
I mean, there were no qualities of a John Lamont script in this.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of wanted to be that over.
It wants to be a John Lamont script someday. Yeah.
But it just needs some growing up to do.
Yeah. So John, talk to John if you want to learn how to have your action heroes. If you're doing the thing like with the action figurines, John's the one who knows how to do that pretty well. Preston and I don't see that much value in it as storytelling, but you still have to tell us what's happening, and
and
why
why
people are doing what they're doing, because otherwise it's just color and noise.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll give one final thing on this. Is a general note on fight choreography.
Yes.
Like I used to, I've done some boxing, I've done some judo. Like when I'm visualizing people fighting, I'm like, what is one person doing to person two? And we just have Katrina being like, puts this person in a headlock, chokes this person out, grabs this other person, and I'm like, going back to the pages we actually opened the show with, for my script, where it's like, boom, like Edmund sweeps with the flat of his sword Thor off of her feet, and then boom, now she's on the flat of her back. Now he stomps on her feet. Like section goes to section, and the actors have more kind of room to breathe and choreograph and make it interesting. Whereas when they're all kind of crammed together in one action paragraph, and it just seems like a list of like random things, like puts them in a headlock. It would be like, why? How did this person get in a headlock from not being in any kind of grappling situation?
So this goes back to our early thing we were talking about: is don't do especially if you're writing for screenplays, don't do other people's jobs. It's the fight choreographer's job to choreograph the fight scenes, not yours. I used to do that. It was when I was first writing screenplays. I would come up with these exorbitant. I used to do Taekwondo in high school, so I used to come up with these exorbitant fight scenes. Especially like post Matrix, I was doing the thing that everybody was doing, and then I'd put a screenplay away for 6 months or a year, and I'd come back and I'd reread it 18 months later, and I didn't even remember my own fight scene and how I had choreographed it, and it made no sense to me, and I wrote the damn thing. I mean, like, and that's exactly what Preston's saying. Like we don't know what you have in your head. You know exactly what the fight scene looks like. We don't, and that doesn't translate to paper, so just don't do it. Like, just say they fight unless it's important. Oh, and that also reminds me, when you were describing the warehouse, again, if you're planning to go to comic, yes, some of this makes sense, but you just overly describe the warehouse. Like, unless the pipes and unless the buildings and unless the trucks are important to the story, you don't need to tell us that they're sitting around the warehouse. Like, your artist, you can either give a photo reference to your artist and say, this is what the warehouse looks like, draw this. If you're doing a comic, if you're doing a film, she arrives at a warehouse, the set designer is going to know what a warehouse looks like, and they're going to make it look whatever they want it to look like. Or more likely, they're going to rent a warehouse for a weekend.
The warehouse doesn't know what a warehouse looks like.
Right. I mean, my point is, the set's going to be there. You don't need to describe that there's pipes over here and there's boxes over here. They'll figure all that out. That goes back to telling other people what to do in a screenplay. You just don't do it. Just tell us a story, make us like the characters, and make us know what the hell is going on.
All right, there we go. I got another Stage 32 script, but we'll save that for next time because we've been going for a while.
Yeah, when we were going to do that, that's why I remembered this other guy had his script, and that's why I'm like, we should probably hit his.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually really liking these. I mean, I know I'm being like slightly bitchy, but this was the third script of the day.
Yeah.
And like, so Stage 32 guys, I have moments of being more and less bitchy. And then sometimes I read a script, I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? But these are actually kind of fun. It's a really nice change of pace. I really like the lack of confidence as to whether it'll be a screenplay or a comic. That's actually forcing all of us to flex a little bit in terms of
this guy, because he's in our Discord, and I'm not sure he's talked about doing comics, so I don't know exactly.
I mean, that would be great. He should totally write a comic.
Yeah, and that's why I say it. It's like, I don't know if he's like doing like what I do and workshopping the story out in screenplay format and then convert it to comic later. I don't know what his thought process is on that. But I know that's kind of one of the things that we talked about in the Discord. So
yeah, I do feel like it's nice for us to expand in terms of like, because like we've all worked in film as well. So hopefully you Stage 32 guys are getting a little bit of like, oh yeah, here's how stuff actually goes on set.
Yeah.
And how people actually break down scripts. And like, if I was the AD or like the production coordinator reading this stuff, I'd be like, oh my God, cut it. No one wants to see this on their sides. And we have to print another page for that. What are we doing? Like,
yeah, I was an AD. I've done script breakdowns. That's how I noticed about the other script we were talking about.
Yeah,
the
like I'm in continuity.
Because,
I do my own breakdowns, right? Like, it's a part of the process, and seeing how people respond to that part of the process will hopefully also help the writers like really focus on the story. So I feel like we're all getting to flex a little bit, and this is all a ton of fun. So if any other Stage 32 guys are watching, like, please, we don't bite. Share your scripts. Hopefully, you'll get useful feedback, and
feel free to come
more
on.
people will be familiar with your work. And
exactly.
you can come on. You can come and tear our shit apart.
You sure can.
Yeah,
that's what we're all here
absolutely.
for.
Yeah, awesome.
And if you find after 12 years that trying to make it as a screenwriter doesn't work, come and do comics like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're really sold that one, John.
Well, look, I mean, Vito was there in the chat earlier, and I mean, he clearly had the screenwriting experience. I think there are many, Stage 32 is populated by a lot of people who are, amateur screenwriters hoping to get in the game. And there are a lot of services and Final Draft, expensive screenwriting software and consulting sessions and managers, and there's a whole bunch
that
of
will
people
take your money.
Yeah, that will take your money.
Up your ass.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just feel it's way better investment. And the people who have done it, like you, John, like Vito, did this, let's put on the producer hat and actually make something. End up better off. I think
the worst case scenario is you're like a quarter of the way through pre-production when you've already got your storyboards.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a lie. The worst case scenario is you can sell a fucking book.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that after 12 years in Los Angeles trying to make it as a screenwriter, this is actually the first time I've actually ever made money on my scripts is doing comics. So, I mean, like, if the best advice I could give myself 10 years ago is don't wait 12 years, just start doing it.
Right. And like the other thing I think that it allows you to do is you start to be able to, when you're directly talking to people and trying to sell them stuff, you start to get a good idea for, what producers do, which is, that story will sell with these elements, but this other story, which has these elements, probably not, so.
So yeah, anyway. Hopefully we get more of these guys. I'm going to utterly fail to check the website out. Hopefully I'll be continually reminded that I should.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a good place where you could find some work because there's a lot of people who need editors and whatnot.
Well, and also, like, I need to be doing writing, so it's a way to network that too.
It is.
Like,
yeah.
I need to be doing that. I've been like dealing with all kinds of other stuff, and it's been real frustrating. Like trying to make time for it. I'm overworking myself right now on. We're doing a remix of Angel of Darkness issue 1.
Okay.
That John's gonna go on.
Yeah, I heard about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not like completely doing like a page 1 rewrite of it, but there's a ton of rewriting that's happening. I'm just like writing lines, like punching it up as much as I can. I'm having like I was sending John work, like, and I had a shit-eating grin for some of these lines. Like we gave soon to be dead husband like a bit of character, and like. John sends smiling emojis when we like just made it like casually sexist because it's the 30s.
Yeah.
It was like, women can't get like that sort of thing. Like,
dude, that's not just 30 sexist. That joke lasts even till today.
I know, right?
That's why it works. That's why I'm like, I love it. Like, yeah.
Because you literally wrote a scene where they just have to wait for the woman to show up. So I decided to like hang a lampshade on it. But actually, like, dealing with some voice stuff too, and just like generally like cleaning up that flow and making the characters like work better together. I am doing way more than what he's paying me for because I haven't written in so long. I'm just taking this opportunity of I've literally gotten blank pages. He gave me feedback on one page that was like, "That's terribly Scooby-Doo," and I like fist pumped.
I called that page out of Scooby-Doo when I got back from the colorist. The colorist gave me this page.
It's very Scooby-Doo.
And I posted it in the Discord. I'm like, this page is so Scooby-Doo. And then Danny took it and ran with it. And I'm like, yes.
And then I gave it extra Scooby-Doo sound effects.
Did.
Of course I did.
It looks great. I'm gonna have to. I will post that as soon as it's.
Yeah, like I blended the sound effects in with like the artifacts. Seriously, he's getting way more than his money worth out of me.
Awesome. All right. Well, next week should have more pages, and I will let you know how the first waifu con that I've ever been to.
Okay.
A waifu con, yeah.
It'll go great.
Yeah.
It sounds like something Larry and I should be going to.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah, it's a convention where everyone has to be 18 and over, and you're allowed to have NSFW work openly on display.
Okay.
I expect to do well.
Good.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. I'll let everybody know, and thanks for tuning in. I'll see everybody next week.
Yeah.
Take care and good night.